Good evening, everybody. This is John Marola from Keeping It Real Section 5 Football. And as you can see, my two co-partners are not here today, but the show must go on. So, with that being said, I have to introduce our man in the middle. For a lot of people, this show today is very, very intriguing to me. The first time I heard about this, I was, a little whatever about it, but the more I understand and the more that we've talked, this is something that people really, really do have to take a look at. And when we were talking earlier, this is not going anywhere, and this is just going to help Section 5 so much. The man in the middle next to me is Antoine Heyman. Mm-hmm. He's from Glory to Glory. Mm-hmm. And about a month or so ago, our other co-host, George Giordano, told me about this, and then I just started looking around, and I was like, wow, this is pretty impressive stuff. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I got to get this guy on. So I got to say thanks for being here. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me, buddy.
Yeah. So talk to the people. Let us know, what you're all about, and basically the floor is yours.
Well, my name is Antoine Hyman. I like to fashion myself as the chief executive servant of Glory to Glory. Mm-hmm. Right? Because that's exactly what, God has me doing is in essence serving. But I was blessed. I'm from Buffalo, New York. I what have you. I'm a father of two. I what have you. I went to, in Buffalo, I went to graduate from McKinley High School. Then I went to Keuka College in the Finger Lake region. Very, very proud of that because that basically helped lay the foundation of everything that I'm, doing and experiencing today. But I, graduated from Keuka, political science and history. Was blessed to, initially I was actually going to go to law school, but I was blessed to play 12 years pro basketball all around the world, right? Coming from a Division III school. And that kind of like set the stage like for what it is that I'm doing now. But like I said, I played 12 years pro basketball, and then after basketball, I was living in Boston for, substantial. I was married, living in Boston for a substantial amount of time, raising my children, ran a nonprofit, a fairly large nonprofit in Boston that was structured to help kids matriculate to the next level, and we had a curriculum. It was wonderful, experience. But then over the last, I would say 4 years, I moved back to Western New York because I'm originally from Buffalo, like I said, but I moved back, and I was going through a change in life, going through divorce, what have you, and got connected with a college, one of my college friends, or what have you, and we got connected, reestablished our friendship, fell in love, and actually got married last year at Keuka.
Congratulations.
Yeah, at Keuka. Thank you. Yeah. And, just been here, and for, like I would say, the last 4 years, when I was going through the transition, I recognized that, that sports in itself, collegiate sports, was going through a massive metamorphosis. Mm-hmm. I think it might have been like 2018. 2018 was the first shoe to drop, and they changed their educational requirements in the dark of night. I remember when they changed the educational requirements to where you had to have at least, a 2-3 in all of your core electives. Yep. Yeah, and they did it basically in essence overnight. But then after that, maybe a year after that, they allowed for NCAA, allow for kids to monetize their name, image, and likeness. Mm-hmm. But they didn't give a roadmap into doing it.
They just kind of put it out there.
They just said you could do it.
Yeah.
They said that you could, now you have the right to do it. And when I saw that, as I was going through a transition, there was a moment where I was like, wow, these kids, are not going to know how to navigate this new terrain. And then everything I had experienced up to then kind of like laid the foundation, because the other thing that I did is, I got into the finance world where I had my Series 6 and 63 and all that, and was dealing with helping people get their financial portfolio together, this, that, and the third. Did that for a little bit. And like I said, it all lends itself to what it is that we in essence built 4 years ago. But when NCAA allowed allowed athletes to be able to monetize their name, image, and likeness, like I said, there wasn't a roadmap, and I was like, okay, everything that I've experienced, that God has allowed me to experience, could lend itself to helping these kids navigate, this new terrain. So, that's when I went ahead and went to start building the infrastructure and building, what we have today. And now, we're in multiple states. We have a number of agents, we represent every top, sport, and we represent a number of 4, and 5 star athletes, as well as, we help the B and C kids in essence find their correct fit collegiately, because in today's new space, you need advocate, you need representation, right? And in order to, in essence, be seen, because even if a college coach sees you or what have you, if they don't get a chance to see a transcript, they can't really get serious about you.
Yep.
Because, you may not be able to matriculate directly into Division I if you failed math as a freshman.
Yes.
And so, so now, like I said, the whole terrain is shifted, and, our organization is structured to help athletes as well as families navigate that.
And this, I think, is very important because I've said this earlier when we were talking, I'll say it now, and I'll probably say it again, is this what's going on now in high school? It's not going anywhere.
No.
This is here to stay. So if people, what we're trying to do is trying to get the word out, more and more people to understand what it's about and feel more comfortable with it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? This is like really, really great stuff. You start wrapping your arms around it.
Yeah, it is. I think that it's, like what you're saying, I think that, when it first was a possibility, a lot of people were blind to it, but I think that a lot of people are open their eyes to what's here and what's going to be here. It is very challenging in the sense that it's, you have kids right now. The average valuation of a kid going into a Power 4 school that is eligible for NIL is at least $100,000.
Yeah,
that's a baseline salary, and a lot of these kids are, signing, millions of dollar deals, making some real money, and so. That's very difficult when the average man makes $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 a year.
Yes. To
see these kids are able to take advantage of this. But it is, there are some pitfalls. And I think that we need to discuss, the impact that it's having, right? Because one of the things that our company has been able, because we were at the forefront, like we were the first to establish an N.I.L. deal in New York State, right, for high school kids.
Yes.
We were the first to do it in New England. We were the first to do it in New Jersey for high school kids, right? And we probably have done more independent third-party deals than any one entity, specifically the way that we do it in America. And the impact that it has is more than what, people could imagine, because it's very disruptive. It's extremely disruptive to the athlete, to their ecosystems, and even to their nuclear family. When all of a sudden the athlete, the son, may mess around and one deal have more money than dad.
Yeah.
That's a very, at one time in the bank.
Yep.
Yeah, there's, that creates problems.
Yes.
When mom is trying to act like, he's now the head of the house.
And people don't see that.
They don't see that in any way, shape, or form. I've actually had families that start off with a deal, go through that experience and say, no, we're good.
Really?
Yes, we don't want any more. Yeah,
really?
Because it's that disruptive. It is
Wow.
very anyone. As a man, think about it.
Yes.
You're raising your son, your children, or what have you, and all of a sudden, he gets $5,000-$10,000 in the bank at one time, while you're, struggling to make things happen. And now mom is trying to figure out how to, buddy up to him. So those types of things are things that, the average person may not have thought about the impact that it has.
Mm-hmm.
But,
now, as far as we were talking earlier about, we sat and talked honestly for a good 45 minutes because, like I said, this is like when we put this Keeping It Real together,
mm-hmm.
A bunch of football coaches, you know what I'm saying? And then I had to get into the, behind the scenes stuff with all the headsets and everything outside my comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
And this becomes outside people's comfort zone because they've never dealt with this before.
Yes.
And if somebody wanted, how does it go about it? We talked earlier. Do you go out and talk to kids or parents, or do they call you, or is it interaction both ways?
Yeah, now it's both ways. Initially, when we first started, our first kid was Damani Barley, and I went to a actual basketball game, and I saw him. I saw his energy, his swag, blah, what have you. He was one of the top kids at the time playing in Western New York. And he had a substantial amount of followers as well at the time. And so I went up to him. His father had played, a little pro ball or what have you. And so we were able to have a real, we were able to establish a connection. And, I was explaining to him what we were able to do. And we did it at a high level. And he, in essence, helped pave the way for where we are now. But I think that now we have such proof of concept in so many different spaces that you have a lot of kids reaching out to us.
Mm-hmm.
But there's still some kids that we'll go and reach out to them, and present some opportunities for them or what have you. So it's both ways.
Some of the kids that you've already
represent.
Yes, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Let people know, like, around Section 5, who are the kids, even if they're not football, girls even, you know what I'm saying? Go through that and let people, like I said.
Over the last few years or now?
Yeah, or whatever,
okay.
Whatever. It's just, like I said, we're just trying to let people understand this, and I think the more information they get, the more comfortable they become. So
I think that, like, for example, the more recent kids is like Messiah Hampton.
Yep.
Right? He was number one player, and he's still the number one recruit in New York State. Quante, Gilliams that's going to Syracuse.
Mm-hmm.
You have Noah. Noah, please forgive me. I'll say his last name in a minute. But he's, going to Rush Henrietta, what have you. He's a receiver. I'll save Noah's last name. I'll probably just scream it on out. But over the past few years, please, I'm getting older. Please forgive me.
I know. I can put you in a bad situation.
And there's be a lot of kids like, what? How do you forget me?
I know.
And there's so many. You got Ashlyn Avery Roberts. You have the Watkins sisters.
Okay.
Yeah. Remember the Watkins sisters? They are absolutely wonderful. You have.
Did they play for Webster? The sisters?
Webster Schrader. Yeah, Webster Schrader. Yeah.
And they won states a couple years?
They won states, yes.
You didn't even know this. Their coach is my niece.
Oh, wow. Yeah, she can coach.
Cody Battaglia.
Yeah, Cody, she can coach, buddy. She did a very good job with them. She did it. I was very impressed with her in-game coaching. She helped them really win that state championship.
Yeah, they had a great year.
Yeah. Jackson Green, who I call POTUS. He's over in Princeton. That's a kid. Right now, Loren Green. Leah Dukes.
Okay.
Leah,
yep.
She's the number one, player in the country at her age, and she is going to the WNBA. You can clock that.
Yep.
I'm trying to think because that now it's like, like I said, we represent a number of kids in multiple states, but here in Western New York, let me try to go through my mental Rolodex and make sure that Ro Calder.
Okay.
He's a beast in the what's the name world, in the track and field world, or what have you. Mia Gray.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I think that is important to mention Mia. We're actually going to do an amazing clinic with her on August 16th. And I'm very, very excited about that. We're going to some language and stuff like that will be out soon. But we're doing something that is innovative in relation to this new terrain that's here and the possibilities, integrating and bringing third-party businesses and allowing them to be part of youth sports in the way that we envision, that to be. And so we have something that could, in essence, illustrate that.
Now, basically, say I'm a parent of a student athlete, and we want to get involved in, with this and find out more. I assume that you guys would sit down and basically have little meetings and
and I think that all right, let's talk about the terrain as it relates to recruiting. It's changed dramatically,
yes.
Right? And so the truth of the matter is, and I was in this space, raising two daughters that were in youth sports. It's a situation where our parents are paying an exorbitant amount of money. Traveling all over with our kids and helping them reach their dream, trying to help them reach their dreams. Now there's a new dream, right? There's a dream to try to make it to, Power 4, Division I sports,
yes.
or what have you. And so, what we do is, and I'm sorry, my brain went into a different space. But what we do is we help, like I said, kids and families navigate this new terrain. You have to have an advocate. You have to have representation now, because of what we talked about. Like there's some contributing factors that have shifted everything. Number one, like we said in 2018, what happened in relation to grades. That's a big deal. That's not a little deal in any way, shape, or form. And we find that a lot of parents and kids are not aware of that, meaning that they come up to junior year, senior year, and wants to go to play, Division I or trying to, and what have you, and didn't realize that they got below a 2-3 in social studies or something freshman year and realize that they got to, change their whole track.
Yes.
And so we help kids and families navigate. And then the other aspect of that is, again, coaches. Now coaches have to rely on, I call them high-risk systems, human resource information systems, platforms that allow, kids to show where they are up to date, because now the recruiting has changed so dramatically that the coach need to see where you are right now in relation to your skill set. They can't go off of what you've done this past season, like in your high school game. They need to know where your body is and where your game is at the moment, and where are you playing? Who are you playing against? And so, you need platforms to, in essence, show them these kids, these coaches where you're at, and that's one of the things that we provide to these kids. These types of platforms that communicate grades and transcripts in real time, as well as the skill set of where the kid is at there to the moment, and then able to speak to them, to the coaches. And helping them, because the coaches, their position has changed dramatically. They are now have to coach year to year, no matter what level you are at. And in terms of historically they were building programs, but now it's one-offs across the board, and people don't really understand how that impacts the recruiting space. And so what we do is we help kids as well as families. You've been going to, whether it be AAU games or 7, and no coach has ever come up to you, right? These are the reasons why. They rely on video footage coming to them and them being able to see exactly where the kid is academically before they can get excited. And so we help, families as well as kids navigate that, communicating, advocating for the kid, explaining to the coach, and constantly showing them a track of, all right, here's where our kids is, working and developing and where they are, so they can get positioned to be, and be with you.
And it's the moment, it's right then and there.
And then
the college coaches get that information.
Yes.
It's like you said, it's not from last year.
Yes.
Or 2 years ago.
Yes.
Or Pop Warner.
Yes.
It's today's stuff.
Today, yes.
Yes.
And they need that and they cherish that. They absolutely, they cherish it. And we are able to give kids that, who don't have this, if they were to, when they do sign up with us, like right now, we've been blessed. We have 100% placement. Because we really do the work and we're extremely honest about where you are. That's the other aspect of what we do.
Yes.
Like, I have to be brutally honest. I can't play with you. I got to let you know where you are.
One of the number one thing of kids today,
yes,
you got to be honest. Because as
honest.
soon as you go that other route, they're
Yes.
not going to trust you, and now it's over and done.
Yes.
So, yep, you learned that through the years too.
Yeah, yes.
It's not like how maybe when we grew up. The kids today are just different.
Dramatically.
And some of it's really good, and some of it's different.
Yes.
So
not so good at all.
Yeah. Unfortunately, but nobody's perfect.
No.
But this is, like I said, this is a way for us to get the word out a little more around Section 5. And today's episode, it's involving, not just football. You're mentioning basketball kids, girls that are playing, basketball and all that. It's all the kids around Section 5. And I think the final thing that in my mind was like, I got to get you on this, was we're going in the same direction.
Mm-hmm.
You're about kids.
Mm-hmm.
We're about kids.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we started this up a year and a half ago, was just trying to get the word out more about kids. You started this up 4 years ago, getting the word out to kids.
Yes.
And if you're in it for the same reason, then it's all good. It's all
in alignment.
Yes.
I think that, let me just talk. I want to talk about real quick N.I.L, where it's at versus in essence where it's in essence going, and the impact that it can have on Section 5, or the impact that I envision it happen on Section 5. I think that we're in, I like to call it a spiritual war right now as it relates to N.I.L and its impact on collegiate sports. And I think that the pillars that that are on opposite sides is you have greed on one side, you have influence on the other side. I think that I think that the other aspect of it is in America as a whole, we are re-examining who we are from an economic standpoint, like in terms of do we really still believe in free market capitalism?
Yes.
And I think that NIL legitimate is a microcosm or, of a greater story in relation to that, or it reveals it at another level. Like actually tonight, from what I just saw, there's a text that Trump is maybe actually looking to, pass some legislation that would, that would legitimately allow uniformity across the board, in relation to NIL. I don't know exactly what the impact is yet. It's supposed to possibly be tonight or in the next day or two, so we'll see. And this thing is fluid, or what have you. But I think that what I was saying in terms of, America is really re-examining free market capitalism in the context of a global economy and the impact that automation, just so many different things, so many contributing factors. But NIL, it's really, to me, as I'm watching it evolve, I think that we're watching it go through this metamorphosis across the board. Okay. And, prior to coming here, I was praying, right? I'm, you see, glory, we, we don't indoctrinate our beliefs, but, I don't run from it in any way, shape, or form, and it's at the root of. It's one of the reasons why we've been blessed to do the things that we've been doing from the very beginning, is because God has in essence been at the help. So I was praying, okay, God, what do you want me to say, right? What is it that you in essence want me to say? I could tell stories that blow your mind in relation to, what's going on. But I just think that what I heard in terms of that still voice inside was continue to give vision, right? Because the conversation, it's in a space where it's in this war, but the possibilities of what it could produce are tremendous, and it could have impact that we've never seen before. For example, you know that youth sports is run by volunteers.
Yes.
Like really run by volunteers
Yes.
across the board. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry that's run by volunteers. But now that businesses are aggressively, getting involved, I think that it's a situation where we have an opportunity to revolutionize every aspect of it, where these volunteers now, we can position people that are professionals that are getting paid to do so. Real genuinely across the board, like whether it be coaches, whether it be people that's throwing on, putting together clinics or, just every aspect of what people historically have done it, from the love of their heart for their kid or what have you. Now we're now entering into a space where it could really be an industry that creates, economic opportunity. And I think that glory to glory, when we go to post, videos that we create for our athletes, you will see the hashtag building industry. And that's exactly what we are doing. Even from an agent standpoint, right? You have, fathers or family or whoever investing so much in this kid. It's a lot to get these kids to be 4- and 5-star athletes. You really have to dedicate your life for a substantial amount of time. You don't just fall into that because we're talented or we're just huge. There's a real developing of skills and resources, a lot of resources it takes to get into those spaces.
And the thing too that a lot of people, they look at their kid as he's a great athlete. Well, they need more than that.
Way more now.
Okay, because of the way that I look at, say, a 5-star to a 3-star, is that 5-star. Say they're both 6'5", 300 pounds. Kid number 1, he plays at IMG Academy down in Florida, say.
Yep.
He travels all over the United States. He's in high school.
Yep.
I'm player B. I live in one community. I play football in one community. And we both have the same skill. Why is that kid? Because of his experience.
Exposure, yep.
Yep. It's because the college coaches, they look at him and say, this kid's been on an airplane. He's been in hotels and he's just getting into college. Where the other kid, he never experienced this before. And that's a huge...
It's huge. I mean, look at Messiah this year. When he went and played, he was playing with C2C or what have you, 7-on-7 local, doing a very good job. That does a very good job of pumping out talent here. But he went to a national team, right, down in Florida, and he destroyed it. And as a result, his stock went through the roof in a short amount of time. And so, and that's one of the things that, again, our company does is we help kids identify what's the correct track for you to facilitate what you're trying to make happen. And then we help them, in essence, get into that.
And, going back to what I was just saying about, kids as far as, a 5-star to a 3-star, whatever. It's all, it depends on the kid and the parents.
Yeah,
it's a team effort. It's and the coach and the administration and what I'm saying? It's just not one person and the kid.
Can I speak about that a little bit?
Go ahead.
A little bit. All right. So, Father God, keep me with this one right here. I don't want to go too. Now, remember, before I say this, I want to let you know again. I think it's important that you understand. In multiple states, right?
Yes,
so
yes.
We're talking about section. So people can look on our roster, see some of our kids that we represent. And I'm not necessarily talking about any kids that we represent now before I get into any of these types of things. But I think that parents, a lot of our parents are not prepared to handle this new shift.
Exactly.
Because now the reason being is this. The reason being is that kids have to sign contracts now, right? I think that it's extremely important that we explain this. That kids now have to sign contracts with the schools. And right now, it used to be when we were coming up, if you got a 4-year scholarship and you signed it, it was binding, and you were locked in for 4 years. No matter what happened, at the very least, you're going to get an education.
Yes,
that's done across the board. Right now, it's a situation where you're signing one-offs or contracts. You'll sign a deal for 1 or 2 years or what have you.
Yes.
And every year, and this is extremely important that kids and families and coaches understand this. Every year, the athlete has to legitimately play well enough, be in good graces to make the team next year. First of all, when you sign a contract, you're signing a contract with the opportunity to make the team freshman year.
Yes.
You're not just locked in just because you got the offer. You still have to make the final roster.
And you signed your name.
And you signed your name. Yes.
I'm ready to go.
Yes. You're not just locked in. You still have to make the team freshman year. Then after freshman year, you go through everything, what have you. And, you again have to make the team next year. And you don't have the way the rules are structured and everything, way things are going. Right now, you don't have any real leverage. Specifically, if you don't have representation, you don't have any leverage. And John, because here what's happening is, you sign a deal. You have to make the team. This year, you may not see 5 freshmen. But watch this, John. And all of Division I Power 4, you may not see 5 freshmen take the field in all of sports because of the way the way this thing is structured and where it is right now. Because if you play a kid and he has a breakout game and he does something amazing, well, his valuation just went through the roof. And he can, in essence, try to jump into the transfer portal to capitalize on what he's done and what have you. So what you have a lot of coaches doing is not playing these kids until junior year, and they have to compete at that time to, in essence, try to get out there on the field. And the other thing I think that is important to say, and I'm not saying this to disparage. I think that, again, we're going through a metamorphosis where, this N.I.L. space is defining what it's going to be. Because what you had is a group of guys who got into a room and created rules where the other side hasn't come and answered and with their side. There isn't a players union yet.
It hasn't come together.
There isn't a collective bargaining agreement.
Yeah. So
you have one side deciding all right, we're going to create enough rules right now to make where we right now have the power and it's like I said, that's why we're trying to figure out what are we going to become as it relates to free market capitalism, because a lot of these new rules fly in the face of free market capitalism, and so you have these kids sign these contracts that, immediately that gives the college all of the power in the first, all the power, meaning that you can sign for one number. And then they decide, and then the language of the contract is, if the coaches decide that your evaluation has went down, they can change your number.
Yeah.
How much they're giving you.
During control.
And complete so all of these things, and I think that the average family, the average athletes are not prepared for this. They need representation. They need someone to help them. And the challenges that they have is that most of these people have not dealt with contract law or contracts in their actual jobs or what have you. So now you're being given a contract, and the way they do it and structure it, they give you a certain amount of time to sign it or it's null and void. These are things that people are not aware of. And you need representation. There's no other way. This new space, if you don't have someone helping you with this, you could really do some serious damage to your kid and their future. Yeah.
Mostly because parents are parents.
Yes.
And my little thing along with that is you're always going to have, those parents that are, grumpy, blah, blah, blah. And I tell them, listen, let's do this. I'm going to be their coach. You're going to be their parent. And together, both of us, we're going to get your son into the best situation we can. And that's exactly what you guys are doing.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's a combined thing.
Yes.
And I say to the parents and the kid, why am I doing that? Why am I going out doing this? Why? You know what I like? I'd like to brag about you after the kid graduates, you know what I'm saying? And he goes on to college and he gets married and has kids and all that. That's what I get out of that. You know, it's not always about dollars and cents, more so, you know, but it's about doing something good for people.
Absolutely.
You know
That's
what I'm saying?
serving in a way
Yes.
that pleases God. No, I understand that. And the whole terrain in relation to coaches has now changed dramatically.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
because the coaches, and specifically when they went to go try to compete for top players, you know, that's part of their narrative of, like, we can help you get your kid into this space and that space, this and the third. Now the game has changed dramatically where the consumer is aware that, no, there's a contract there. You know, you may not be able, you can't get your kid in this space.
Yeah.
A representation can help get there. And so I think that right there is kind of tough for a lot of coaches.
Because they don't know about it.
Yes, they don't know about it. And you can't say that anymore. You just can't say, like, you know, you genuinely can't say that anymore. I've had a coach this year, you know, quit because of realizing that, wow, I feel like a babysitter. I'm not. It doesn't mean the same thing that it historically have meant.
Yeah.
Now it's a totally new thing.
It's a new ball game.
Absolutely
It's
new
a
ball
new
game.
ball game.
Yeah.
And like I said, when I first started, I started coaching in '82.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, from then, even the last 10 years, I mean, it's changed so much. And, you know, it's just, you know, getting rid of that, you know, we're the old school type of guys, you know, the 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Now it's spread, it's this, it's that, and everything else. And I think a part of you is along with that, you know what I'm saying? It's all this new stuff that's going on. And, like I said, the bottom line is it's for the kids.
Absolutely. 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 And, but it's changed dramatically. You know, one of my prayers is, you know, Father God, allow me to serve your people in a way that pleases you. Right. And that's one of the reasons why I started that's the reason why I started in the first place, to try to be a service of these kids and help them, like, navigate this new terrain and be a blessing.
Yes.
And that's exactly what it still is to the day, what have you. But like I said, it's a situation where it's been rewarding. It's been extremely challenging. There's been some things I'm looking like, wow. There's a lot of things that we had to, like we were there initially, before. You know, T.D. Jakes once said, I heard him say, you know, if you're first to something, you're going to suffer. You're gonna go.
Yeah.
You're gonna go through some things.
Yeah.
So there's been definitely some things that, as we've had to wait to, you know, evolve, and now they are here, and we're still, help navigating what it could be. And that's why I wanted to come on here today to have this conversation of, like, you know, like I said, it's in this infancy space. It's still growing. But, like, look, let's let it get into a space where there is a lot of economic opportunities that, you know, didn't exist. Let's not try to automate them or, you know, or regulate them in a way where, you know, they don't exist. I think that there's tremendous opportunity. Right? I think that what you're going to see in Section 5 is the talent over the next 3 to 4 years in terms of the indigenous players that are here is just going to go to another level. I mean, because you have, you know, these kids are having dreams to play collegiate football or basketball, whatever. And they're going to see the Messiah Hamptons, you know, these other guys, these guys that are, you know, taking advantage of these opportunities, and recognize that there is a real genuine possibility if they put the work in. So I just think across the board, you're going to see interest and
more,
way more. I think that over the next 5 years, the interest, like, games are going to be packed. Like Section 5 games. the streaming of them, the games, it's going to be packed because they're going to mean more. Right? Here's what I say to businesses and to people all the time. High school football, high school sports is going to be what college sports used to be. And college sports is the new pro.
Yeah.
Because content drives it all. Content drives our economy. It drives it all. And I just think that, we're going to be in situations, even at Pop Warner level, where you could play in little tournaments where kids can get paid.
Really?
For winning. Yeah. That Glory to Glory, our organization is kind of great. Yeah.
It's open.
We want to, in terms of events and all of that, where the business community come in, I think that you could have, whether it be 7-on-7s or whatever, and whatever, where the winning team get, money, what have you. And so when you start introducing that, and that becomes the case, now, the games matter more. The viewing of it are aware of it, and it just becomes this thing that has an opportunity to genuinely explode.
Yes. And like we were saying, the more that people can understand this and kind of wrap their... Now, we're not trying to... If you don't want to be a part of it, that's all... You're the parent. We understand that. But this is the way that sports are going. College is there. They're there.
Yeah.
High school is now starting to become that.
Yeah.
And this is our way of trying to let people know, when Paul Brigandy and I started this up a year and a half ago, we were talking about, being informed.
Yeah.
And this show today is, this is what it says. This is where we're at. And if you want to know more about it, right now, give out your number, people that like to contact you or whatever, and what? Did I do something?
No, that's not a problem. That's not a problem at all. No, but you can go to, our socials. If you go to Glory Sports Agency on IG or anything or what have you, you'll be able to get in touch, or go to our, website, which is Glory to Glory Sports Agency, or Glory to Glory SA.com. And then you can go to contact us and give us the name. But I will give my telephone number. That's not a problem. It's 716-658-1004.
That is the Buffalo number. 716.
Yeah. No, it absolutely is. And and then if you want to reach out and have a conversation, I think that is imperative. That coaches are like really informed, to what these changes mean to them, their sector, their kids. There's radical changes happening that coaches have to be abreast of 100%, because it impacts every aspect of what it is that they're doing.
And working together.
Absolutely.
Us,
yes.
Let's say coaches working with you, working with parents.
Absolutely.
It's a group effort.
It absolutely. That's one of the things we say to our parents is like, we empower you. We have general counsel. Our general counsel is on, Supreme Court of like New Jersey, and is really at the forefront of N.I.L. And so we lend that to our athletes that we represent. We empower our parents. As opposed to just taking it over and saying, we represent you, we educate, and then empower you.
Okay.
And then, as you see fit in terms of working with us, we then, lend whatever is necessary, whether it be reading over whatever is necessary.
Okay.
Helping our kids.
That's awesome. Well, I just got to say thank you very much for being here. And, I would love to have you on again because, like I said, I've said it before, say it. This is not going anywhere.
It's not, buddy.
The more that people can understand it and trust me, the first time that George let me know about it, I was like, what are you talking about? What is, because you don't know.
Yeah.
But then I started looking into your websites and all your information and stuff, and I'm like, okay, all right. You start grasping more and more, and then our conversations that we've had, off air. You get more comfortable, more around this. And like I said, this is a group effort now these days. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
if we're all in this together, and that's for the kids, this can only go in one direction, and that's up. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I agree. I couldn't agree even more, John. I completely agree with you 100%. And we want to do we want to play our part in serving and helping it become what it in essence could become. And that's been a motivating thing of why I got connected to this in the first place.
Yep. And my advice to parents, I think the kids are more, oh, that's cool. That's, they're more excited about it.
Yeah.
Where parents, the older ones, are more, what is this all about? Or, you know what I'm saying? So the more questions that can be answered for them, the more comfortable they feel about it. And like I said, it's just, it's a plus, and that's what we're here, and that's what we're about. One thing I do want to say that I didn't get to do in the beginning because I forgot is our subscribes. If you have subscribed to our channel, I got to say thank you very much. Appreciate it. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe. It's the bottom corner. Go hit the like. If you have any comments, and trust me, I do read all the comments. We've had 99.9 of them have all been positive. We've had a couple in there that were like, you're better. I've had one of my players say, just kidding around, Coach, you're better on radio.
Just being silly.
Yeah, so it's all good.
Yeah.
But I got to say thank you for being here. And
thank you for having me.
Yeah, maybe, I'm looking maybe right after the season's over with, having you come back in and, doing another little thing. And like I said, just making people feel more comfortable with this.
Absolutely, man. We have some events that we're going to do. There's definitely going to be a conversation, and this conversation is going to continue to evolve. I can guarantee. Mm-hmm. It's going to be very, very interesting of what happens.
That's awesome. And that's about all we have. Again, thank you very much for being here. Appreciate you. And I'll definitely have you back. Just to let people know now, this is coming out tonight, at 5 p.m. It comes out on Thursday.
Oh, wow.
And, actually, it'll be a week from tonight.
A week from tonight. I was like, wow, your editing is that aggressive?
My editing is that good right now.
Wow, that's wonderful.
But I'm not going to put all my marbles in one bag.
Okay.
And actually, this is going to be a double feature.
Okay.
So when this comes out, the episode after this, who I have coming in tomorrow, is our new Section 5 chairman.
Okay.
Tyler Winter. He's the coach, AD, down at Oakfield, Alabama. And actually, I had an opportunity to meet him during the season. We said earlier, during the season when we're at Premier Sports in Grease Ridge Mall, we give out an Athlete of the Week award.
Okay.
And then we have the player come in, and he sits down with us, and we talk about the game. And, then we give him a hoodie when he's done. And, just something nice for him like that. And that's all sponsored through Joe Moon over at Premier.
Okay.
And anyways, we had Jake Canfrizi. I can't pronounce. I'm so terrible with names. But anyways, he came in and we did an episode, but it didn't come out. And I ended up going out to Oakfield and doing it with him, and that's how I met his Coach Winter, out there. And just a great guy. And I just want to let people in Section 5 know that I met him a couple times and talked to him, and we've been on the phone lately talking and all that. He's just outstanding man. And like we said, the bottom line is it's about the kids. And with him now, it's about all the kids in Section 5. Because now he's our new chairman of Section 5. And I just have all the confidence in the world in him. And we'll do whatever we can to help him with his journey.
Absolutely. Become successful.
So now at the end right now, what we do at the end is I'll go 1, 2, 3, and we'll put our hands up and we'll say, keeping it real, Section 5 football.
There it is.
Ready?
Let's go.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Keeping it real, Section 5 football.
Good night. Have a great night.
one in a million, super rich. Got so much dough, I don't know what to do with it. Suddenly, a part of me just wants to go back to how it used to be.
Yeah.